Yeah, yeah, yo, 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 yo. All over the world, we about to go. Truth is coming out, that's what you need to know. Blacks and Hispanics is the Israelites you need to know. You ain't never gonna hear this from a pastor though. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den with some lions. You done ended in the den.
Yeah, pull that up for the audience to see. Let's read that right quick. That's in Virginia, yeah.
Virginia's Robert E. Lee statue removal is a victory for activists.
For activists. Okay.
Removing the Confederate general's monument in Richmond was years in the making.
Hey, blow that up a little bit so officer can see it. So we have Jabez read it. You good?
Yes, sir.
All right.
Scroll up. Scroll up a little bit. No. Other way. There we go. The removal of a statue of Robert E. Lee from Monument Avenue in Richmond, Virginia on Wednesday is a powerful symbolic victory. For 131 years, Black residents had to walk past the statue and see a constant reminder of how white supremacy continues to shape American life and culture. There is perhaps no greater proof of the persistence of white supremacy and how it has shaped public memory than the myth of the lost cause. The idea that during the Civil War, the South fought a principled battle for states' rights with the continuation of slavery as only an ancillary factor. Those who embrace this distorted view of history insist that Confederate monuments hold some value to honor what they call Southern pride and heritage.
Southern pride and heritage. Hey, just right quick before we go on, I remember a few years ago in the small southern town I live in, you had a lot of the Edomites. They were out there, and of course they 4x4s and they bikes and all that, and they get these ungodly, humongous flags. That when they stop, it just covers the whole vehicle and everything around it.
It drapes the whole vehicle.
And I didn't know it was so many of them in the county when they came out. It was thousands, for this parade. And they all, well, not all of them, but a lot of them were saying it's not prejudice, it's pride. Yeah, that's what you see.
Dog.
Right. That's what you see.
Come
but
on,
we see
man.
something completely different with that.
Absolutely.
But we also know that there's just as much, if not more, blood on the American flag than there is on the Confederate flag.
Bring it out.
Make no mistake about that.
Right.
Yeah, because that's always a misconception. Everybody's just like, you see the Confederate flag, and they get an uproar. They see the American flag, they go back to sleep.
Right.
It's just kind of weird. Yeah. It's like the same colors, too. That's what's crazy. It's just like, come on. Neither flag is beneficial for us at any time and point in history. Yeah.
At all.
It's like,
right.
Hell. But, hey, that statue, that, you talk about pride, right? And there's something when it comes to imagery and pride, because, and this is why when we go out, we go teach the image of Christ, things like that, right? Because clearly we don't have no images. Like even in a black and Hispanic neighborhood, when have you ever seen, and not even, carnal a little bit, Martin Luther King statues, Malcolm X statues, some kind of resemblance of who, or all these inventions that we did, who invented the elevator, who made the dishwasher, things like that, every ordinary things that we did. Matter of fact, shoot, who even remembers who, what's his name, George Washington Carver is, or what he looks like? Nobody don't know nothing about that. And you never see those kind of images. So when the people are saying, like, they keep getting constantly reminded, that subjects the children into their low. this person's above them.
Mm-hmm.
And it does count for stuff. Dropped the bomb on me, damn. Hey, real quick, go to Psalm 74. Because the oppressor knows there's something to imagery. This is why they've destroyed our images. This is why they teach us the things they teach us in our schools, in our so-called religions and things like that. And as subtle as it might be, and somebody may look at you and be like, you just taking that overboard. But like I said, okay, so where's my imagery then? Right. If I'm taking it overboard, where's my imagery? Because if you could set that up, I should have rights to set up my own imagery in my own community.
Hey, and you remember, what was it that Megan lady that was saying, hey, Santa Claus is white, Jesus is white.
Like no duh.
You know? So, yeah, go ahead, though.
Go ahead, read that.
Bruh. The book of Psalms, chapter 74 and verse 9. We see.
Verse 4.
Verse 4. Thine enemies roar in the midst of thy congregation. They set up their ensigns for signs.
Right. So you was in the spirit with that one, though. We're going to go there next. But I wanted to read this first because it's letting you know that your enemy, right? He's in the middle of you, and he sent up his signs for ensigns. Meaning what? When you walk into school, and you know they like, oh, little black children, little white children, that white child knows my daddy won, your daddy lost.
Right.
As a constant reminder.
Right.
There is no, and like you said, the pride, right?
Message.
4th of July comes around, things like that. That child has a pride of nation, right? What does your child have?
Right.
Nothing. Then you go from that.
And to back you up on that, remember the doll baby test.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
You know how the little black children saw the black doll.
Yeah.
It was like, that one's ugly.
Right.
Going back to, just to back up your point there, but go ahead.
Right. So then there's no sense of pride. And then you as a black person, your sense of pride comes from what an oppressor did to your ancestors. That's why a lot of people, they be quick to go celebrate 4th of July. And we do it ignorantly. You go out to a typical black dude right now, he'll tell you, I don't celebrate it. He may not say happy 4th of July, but what he do? He got red, white, and blue sneakers on, right? The new Jordans came out in that color, right? The Olympic nines came out. He got on the shorts to match, the shirt to match. And he's sitting up there talking about, I don't celebrate 4th of July. Bruh, you doing it ignorantly, right? Go ahead, jump to verse 9 now.
Verse 9. We see not our signs. There is no more any prophet, neither is there among us any that knoweth how long.
Right, there's nobody actually putting the signs up or teaching those things like the people I brought out. Some of these kids, I was finding out, officer, this is crazy. They don't even know who Rosa Parks is.
Wow.
That blew my mind because that was like the basic Negro package, I call it, every February. You hear Malcolm, Martin, Rosa. That's what you got. Now you're not even getting that. And I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Hey, go back to that article right quick. And I want you to finish that. But go back to that article right quick where you were.
Yet those embracing states' rights overlook one critical point. Southern states were fighting for the right to enslave human beings. Even a cursory examination of the Confederate States of America, the rebel state established in 1861, underscores the undeniable links between slavery and the Civil War. Its foundations are laid. Confederate Vice President Alexander H. Stephens clearly explained of his government in his infamous 1861 Cornerstone speech. Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man.
Damn.
That right there. That's all we needed right there. Because that backs up your statement right there. That's what they believe. That we are not equal to them. But here's the thing. They're right.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're right. Right?
Just not the way they thinking about
it.
Right.
Hey, let's get that. Let's get that right
Bring
quick.
it out.
And then I want you to finish your point. Officer Elijah, you get that? Deuteronomy 76?
Brother had like 5 precepts he was holding.
Yeah, he's over there.
Ready.
Ready.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 7, verse 6. Says, for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people.
Wait, come on. How many times have you read that?
Right.
Read that scripture right.
This is for thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God hath chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth.
Hey, Maybe is it just
That's
Benjamin?
right.
Hey, you know, Deacon
Read it
Lava
like
be
a
saying,
Judite.
man, you ain't got no spirit, bro. Where's your spirit? brother?
Above
Where's your
all
spirit, brother?
people upon
What
the
kind
face
of
of the
Bible
earth.
you reading?
I don't know what kind of Bible he's reading over there, bro. Goodness. All right. All right, go ahead.
I thought he was gonna read it. Now he need to read that right, man.
It says,
all
"For
right,
thou
let's
art
read
an
it
holy
again.
people unto the Lord thy God.
Right.
The Lord thy God have chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth."
Bring it out.
Right. Above.
So read that last part on that article that you was just reading.
Its cornerstone rests upon the great truth that the Negro is not equal to the white man.
They're absolutely right. We are not equal to them. God said we are greater.
That's right. All praise to the Most High.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead, Alfred.
Bring
You
it
got
out.
something else to bring out on that?
No, that was it.
Okay, all right. Let's go to the next article. Let's get on into some more of this current news. All right, so like we were saying earlier, 9/11,
Yeah.
right? Going back to more of the ensign or more of their imagery that they will never forget,
Right.
right? Just play this. We only got to play it for like about 30 seconds. This is what I want y'all to see.
And we're going to go now to
Pay attention to the
Shanksville,
bottom right hand.
Pennsylvania, to hear from former
They
President
literally have everything set up like
George
it
W.
was
Bush.
back
He will
then
be speaking
in
shortly.
2001.
Of course,
While they're speaking and
Shanksville,
they're showing all
Pennsylvania, the
people
crash
and-
site where Flight 93 and the heroes there saved the United States Capitol or the White House from another terrorist attack. Those heroes aboard Flight 93 drove the plane into a field.
Okay, so now I want you to jump ahead to like a minute and a half.
Come on now, dog.
Yeah,
different
George.
places,
All right, go back
but
a little
all
bit
at the
to the
same
beginning.
moment.
We're not getting ready to listen to his whole speech, but
But I say that's the man.
yeah. Hey, I even remember, and because we were talking about this, I think yesterday, that
Here in New York.
you have photo ops, right?
Yeah.
And Esau is the master of photo ops, right? Do y'all remember where Bush was when that happened?
In that little elementary school.
Right.
Mhm.
And we hadn't seen him there before,
Right.
nor after.
Right.
Almost like one of those, you know, if if you go on trial, you'd be like, nope, I have all these witnesses saying I
Yeah.
was right there doing good things.
You know what that's called? It's called plausible deniability.
Wow.
Bring it out.
Yeah. So you set yourself up to make yourself look like you have no reason to know that anything's going wrong, and then when you get the whisper in your ear, you're like, oh, wow, really?
Bring it out.
That's what happened. That's what just like we was talking about the photo op, so
Yeah.
we can have that plausible deniability.
Hey, so we just learned a legal term there.
Yeah,
Okay, all praises.
That boy good.
All right, go ahead, push play.
York to attend as well. Let's listen now to the president who began the war on terror after the attacks here.
Hey, you hear that? He began the war on terror. He began the war on terror. We just looked at a statue that was brought down, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't terrorizing us.
That signified terrorism.
When we see those statues and we think about the things that our forefathers have gone through in this land and even what we go through now, see, they don't consider the things that they do unto us as terror.
Hey, you know it's crazy. I just thought about this. That's something it's all Esau, but their particular family bloodline. Didn't his mama come out in the 80s about the war on drugs? Meanwhile, they were funding the drugs coming in the country. But the war on drugs is basically the war on black people.
And they used, they hung, no, that was back in Reagan's time, but they hung out, I think it was Oliver North. He was the fall guy.
That's the fall guy.
He was the fall guy. Yeah.
Help me.
Okay, go ahead, push play.
Help.
Thank you very much. Laura and I are honored to be with you. Madam Vice President, Vice President Cheney, Governor Wolf, Secretary Holland, and distinguished guests. 20 years ago, we all found in different ways, in different places, but all at the same moment, that our lives would be changed forever. The world was loud with carnage and sirens, and then quiet with missing voices that would never be heard again. These lives remain precious to our country and infinitely precious to many of you.
All right, that's it. Because we're not going to play this whole thing. The reason I wanted to play just a little bit is because our people, the lost of our people, really think that we are a united people. And when you go on, if you choose to go watch it yourself, he talks about that, how, you know, we were all united and stuff like that. But you got to see how he's speaking from a position of privilege.
Mm-hmm.
So we can look at that and say, no, we got missing voices daily.
Right.
You know, we have plots and graves that have no monument that we can go and say, oh, that's what grandpa is, or that's what grandma is.
Right.
Because we don't know. They just bodies there.
Right.
Or we find that they uncover mass graves where you don't even know who's in there.
That's
so
true.
You know, our people have to understand that they're speaking from a position of power and privilege.
It is. He talking about united, bro. The past 20 years, united where?
Right.
You know how much live television, Rodney King jacking up murders been happening to us? He talking about united?
Right.
Hell nah. United or nothing. Ain't united with nothing with them, man. You're right. He talking about from a place of privilege, all right.
Hey, get Ecclesiastes 4:1. And we're gonna go into this next video because
Bring it out.
One of the crafty things they do is they get us to argue their points for them.
Yep.
You know.
You're absolutely right. You know what? You give me flashbacks. I had a friend of mine, and he was arguing down about voting. Voting became a big thing around that time. He was like, yeah, you got to vote Republican. I'm like, why? Because we're going to get the oil. I'm like, what are you talking about? So he used that to segue into going to Afghanistan. That's when we were talking about a while ago, the weapons of mass destruction.
Right.
And then everybody, and this is the crazy thing. Growing up in New York, everybody's mindset I was talking to that was gung-ho for it, I'm talking about black people,
right?
They were like, oh yeah, we're going to get the oil. Gas going to be cheaper. And the total opposite happened. And I was like, wait a second. If you're going in there to stop terrorism, what does that have to do with gas? But everybody understood that. They all was hand in hand with it until basically, you know, we got jacked up and, fell in our face behind that. But I remember that argument, though. He was like, yeah, I'm voting Republican because Bush going in there, he's going to make a difference.
Right.
Couldn't find the guy for how many years.
Right.
And then somehow, mysteriously, he got stuck out there for 20-year war. Good.
Hey, get Ecclesiastes 4:1. Read that.
Book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 4, verse 1. So I returned and considered all the oppressions that are done under the sun. And behold, the tears of such as were oppressed, and they had no comforter.
Now, I want you to stop there. They had no comforter. America has a comforter. Because what did they do? They went and they sought after the leader of the nation that they blamed.
Yeah.
You know, and then a 20-year war against that nation, even changing all the policies and the ways of that nation, which is ironic that in such a short time, much of it has been changed back.
Right.
You know, the woman is not allowed to do what she wants to do.
Nope.
She's not allowed to talk and dress how she wants to.
Right.
All right. The alternative lifestyle is not allowed.
Yeah. Wow.
Okay. So order has been restored for them.
Absolutely.
Right?
Bring it out.
But at the same time, what has changed for us? Read that last part again.
It says, and they had no comforter.
And they had no comforter. That's speaking about us. Go ahead.
And on the side of their oppressors, there was power.
There was power because we don't have the power to even go get one of our children out if they were taken from our homes and put in the foster care system.
Right.
You gotta pay fines and take 30 hours of classes or what have you. You know what I'm saying? They say, no, we can bring some guns,
Yeah.
some bombs,
Mm-hmm.
and
Come on
until
now,
you
dawg.
submit, we're gonna just bomb the hell out of you
Right.
and drop some Navy SEALs in the middle of the night
Right.
Yeah.
and get our people back.
Exactly what he did.
And then we're gonna leave you oppressed.
Yep.
Right.
Go ahead and finish that.
But they had no comfort.
And that's us, but we had no comforters. So I just wanted to play that little bit because a lot of times our people will sit there and they'll watch that, and then we'll get that warm fuzzy feeling like we was watching a movie and you know, the so-called handsome white guy, that's the damn devil, that's the oppressor.
Yeah.
You're on his side because what's the theme all the time? Oh, they killed my family,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm going back for justice.
Yep.
I'm gonna hunt you down.
I'm gonna hunt you down,
Yeah.
right? And so for the next 2 hours, you rooting for him.
Right. Well, they root for them too because of the benefits. The benefits. Because I know we got a lot of brothers and sisters, you know, they don't know what we know. They don't know no better. You know, they join the military and things like that and go meddle in matters that really don't even pertain to them.
Right.
You know, and I also understand they take advantage of our situation because, like you was explaining, we on the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of us, when it comes to healthcare, education, I know a lot of brothers, friends of mine, they went in there just for that.
Right.
You know, it wasn't even being patriotic.
I almost went in.
I tried.
that.
They shut it down.
For the GI Bill, the buddy. Matter of fact, I was going in with I was gonna go in with a friend of mine, the buddy thing where you know you get a bonus.
Yeah.
So it was about cash and getting money for college and things of that.
That's
nature.
that gift.
Yeah.
Yep. They dangle that gift in front of you.
Okay. Let's go ahead and play this next video. So when I said they'll use our own people to argue their point, right? We see that here 20 years later, they're still talking about 9/11, right?
Yeah.
But they tell us, get over slavery, right? So let's go ahead and play that video.
People need to get over slavery.
And stop. Hold on a second.
Damn.
People. What people?
Never gets
That is
specific.
such a vague term.
Yeah, it is.
People need to get over slavery. Okay, go ahead.
Psych!
All right, so I guess I started off. I mean, we all know that slavery was a terrible thing. It was
Yes.
an atrocity.
Right.
It was a human tragedy. But
Yes.
we can't just be talking about slavery every day. It ended in 1865. This is 2020. We got to press forward. Our ancestors, they went through a lot. They died for us to be able to be here right now.
Yes.
And the best country on planet Earth.
Yes.
Take advantage of what we have right now,
Right.
rather than looking in the past and saying, oh, well, woe was me because of slavery.
Right.
You know, there have been other groups of people in slavery all throughout the world. They can't just stay in that state. So
Stop,
people, a lot of
stop,
times, they
stop.
stay.
See, this is America. That's where the sickness comes in.
Mm-hmm.
There's been other people that look. Why do we always have to turn to what about the other people?
Mm-hmm.
We can't even stay focused on our people, our struggles, what led up to these things happening,
Yeah.
how we gonna get out of this condition. We always got the other people.
Yeah, America darn sure don't care about no other people when it comes to, but like he's talking about the 9/11 stuff. So that's crazy. That's crazy.
But what they doing is taking on the mind of their oppressors. Can I get a script real quick?
Bring it out. I saw your facial expression. I was waiting for it.
Hey, First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 11. Let's get that real quick because this is not something
Bring it
that's
out.
new amongst our people with trying to side with the oppressor in terms of trying to point out the evil or the wicked, right? So let's get that.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 11. In those days went there out of Israel wicked men who persuaded many.
So the purpose of this, and you know, it might not be explicit in its mission statement, right? But what they're trying to do is trying to present the other side so that people, our people specifically, come over to that, because traditionally Black folks are vote liberal, vote Democratic. But what you actually seen during the Trump administration was a shift away from the liberal party. And you start to see more and more Black conservatives pop up. What's that sister's name? She got to eat
Candace Owens.
Candace Owens.
Yeah.
She's one of them, and she's one of the major voices. But this is to help along that purpose. Read that last part again.
Who persuaded many, saying, let us go and make a covenant with the heathen that are round about us.
So they trying to tell you, let's instead of pointing out their ills, their evils from the past, let's go ahead and just say everything's all right. Why can't we all just get along like Rodney King?
They went into slavery too.
Yeah. They have a history of slavery as well. Where and how extensive was it? And what is the effects of it today? Where do you see the ramifications of that slavery that they went into today? You don't see it. But keep reading.
For since we departed from them, we have had much sorrow.
And that's when they say, "Oh, guys, you're causing division by bringing up those old wounds that need to finally heal." But Malcolm X said this: if I got a knife in my back and you take it out, it's 6 inches in, you take it out 3 inches. Are you helping me? No. Right. But they want to try to act like the wound has been healed when it hasn't.
Message. Hey, you absolutely right, because it ain't been healed. Because here's the thing: what's my last name?
Right. Bring it
Where's
out.
my property?
Right. 40 acres and a mute.
40 acres and a mute. What was it? I think like a couple weeks ago we went over where they actually acknowledged was about 7 to 10 Black men was wrongly convicted and murdered.
Yes. It was 13 allegedly that raped the woman.
Yeah. 7
of them were put on. 7 were judged and murdered.
Right.
Yeah.
All we get is a pat on the back. All we get is a pat on the back and just forget it. And it's like, wait a second, where's the restitution behind this?
It was that posthumously reward.
And wasn't it like 70 years after the fact or something like that? Yeah. So 70 years after they family done forgot about
it's like the Virginia 7 or something like that. Martinsville 7, I think that's what it was.
Even in Florida, same thing sort of happened with the Groveland 4.
Right.
Yeah, same sort of thing. So that's all over this country. They have a history of that.
Okay. This is America.
You're just sitting over there quiet, man. You ain't got nothing?
Oh, yeah.
Wow. This brother went to sleep.
No, I do. I just being patient. But as far as they saying forget it. No, Christ didn't forget this. Christ says, be patient. Vengeance is mine. Vengeance is mine. Can you get that in Romans real quick? Romans chapter 12. Because we're supposed to, when we see evil and atrocity happen to our people, we're supposed to still conduct ourselves in a manner of righteousness.
Bring it out.
And with wisdom. We can't be like them. We cannot be like them. We got to wait on the Lord. Let's read that. Can you start at verse 18 and then read 19?
Book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 18. If it be possible, as much as lieth in you, live peaceably with all men.
Us being Israelites, being wise in the commandments of God, we must live peaceably as much as we can. That lies within us. So God says, as much as possible, because He knows it's hard. It's not easy to live peaceably with these people. Read on.
Dearly beloved, avenge not yourselves.
It says, dearly beloved. The Israelites are the beloved of Christ. Christ loves us. Read on.
But rather give place unto wrath, for it is written, vengeance is mine.
Vengeance is what?
Vengeance is mine.
So Christ remembers the atrocities that happened to our people. He's saying, be patient, vengeance is mine. So we got to be patient.
That's right.
So.
Hey, he said, finish that. Vengeance is mine. You got to finish that last part.
I will repay.
I will what?
I will repay.
I will repay. That's recompense, right? Go ahead.
Saith the Lord.
So now, this is the mind of the Lord that the mind of the Negro is missing. Get Nahum 1 and 3 to go with that. Get Nahum 1 and 3 to go with that, because the mind of the Lord and the mind of the Negro is two different things.
Right.
Book of Nahum, chapter 1, verse 3. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked.
Hey, what does that word mean? Acquit.
Acquit.
Can you explain that to us?
So meaning he's not going to forgive you of your ills that you've done against us, Esau.
So that means he'll repay, right?
He's going to repay that.
All right, read that again.
The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked.
And will not at all acquit the wicked. That's why, get Acts 1 and 6. That's why the disciples asked this question, because they understood that, right? The disciples understood, Lord, you're going to exact vengeance on these nations. Go ahead.
Acts chapter 1, verse 6. When they therefore were come together, they asked of him, saying, Lord, wilt thou at this time restore again the kingdom to Israel?
So now that was a question. You going to give us the kingdom back now, Lord?
Right.
You're going to give us the kingdom back? So they understood that vengeance had to take place. All right. And there's many more scriptures on that, but you got some.
Yeah, because he's saying to forget. This goes back with the statue situation. You're not teaching your children. Go to Psalm 78. Because the other nations, they teach their children. Why do you think the statues is up there? They're reminding their children, we won. We conquered them. It's like, and then we got to learn that same his story, right? Get Psalm 78 and start at verse 2.
Psalm 78, verse 2. I will open my mouth in a parable. I will utter dark sayings of old, which we have heard and known. And our fathers have told us.
Who's told us?
Our fathers have told us.
Our fathers is supposed to be teaching us, right? The history, our rich history we have, us being Israelites. And even, you may not know you're an Israelite, right? But even so-called black history, that's not passed down from generation to generation. Because what's passed down? 4th of July, Christmas, all the paganism, everything that encompasses this wicked nation, right? Read.
We will not hide them from their children.
Now we're supposed to forget about it.
We will not hide them from their children.
Because your child goes to school and is trying to figure out, well, okay, I'm hearing about Christ is white. I'm hearing about the forefathers is white. And it's like, child gonna ask some questions like, well, where we come from? All the child gets fed in school is Africa, Africa, Africa. Hey, Dad, what part of Africa?
Right.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I heard we came over in slave ships. Which one? I don't know. Where did our last name come from? I don't know. And you end up like, what's his name? LaDainian Tomlinson.
Yeah.
That actually can trace back the name to a slave master. And all he can say is, I'm proud I have a slave master's name.
Yeah.
We took it back.
He's uniting two families.
Yeah.
He's uniting two families under the slave master's name.
It's crazy. Keep reading.
Showing to the generations to come the praise of the Lord and his strength and his wonderful works that he have done.
Because when you go into history, the wonderful works is, for example, he gave us a little space in his present captivity where there was a time where the chain was little around the neck. Now, we know we got a mental chain, but he allowed us different avenues like what we're doing right now to speak against oppression, right? So you could teach it to your child, like what, even his statement, think about this. How do you think civil rights activists would feel hearing him say that? Because you're basically saying they wasted their time from what they was doing.
Right.
They didn't forget. They kept pushing that narrative and fought for some of the liberties. Shout out to Judah. Fought for some of the civil liberties that he has, that he could sit up there and speak the nonsense that he's speaking. Keep reading.
That's right.
For he established a testimony in Jacob and appointed a law in Israel, which he commanded our fathers, that they should make them known to their children.
Right, and that's where we fell off the bandwagon. We're supposed to let this thing known to our children. Because as we keep talking about these things, we start to realize, wait a second, something ain't right. A child will put it together like, wait a second. So, like you know, it used to kill me? When we first came to this country, they taught us Thanksgiving, right? In kindergarten, it was take your hand, make a turkey, right? It's all good and everybody's hugging up, everybody's having a feast. You get to junior high school, you get a little bit more like, wait a second, somebody got killed. It's like, somebody got killed. You get to high school, and you're like, wait a second, this was a massacre. You get to college, and you find out the truth, and you're like, wait a second. So for my 20-some-odd years on the earth, why did you pacify the truth?
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
But that's because when you come home, the parents is not making it known what it's really about.
It's for the kids.
Yeah, do it for the kids.
Do it for the kids.
Bible said we're not supposed to forget. Never supposed to forget. We're supposed to teach it to your children and your children's children. Yeah.
All right. Let's go back. Play some more of that video.
stay right in their place, and others are being able to pass them because mentally they've moved on while others have not.
They constantly use slavery to put them in a victim mentality. We can't accomplish this because you enslaved my ancestors. Slaves were taught English. Slaves were taught how to become.
While she wears her Trump gear proudly.
Right.
Let's see why slaves were taught English. Can we go to
Bring it out.
Deuteronomy 28:49.
Bring it out.
Let's see why we were taught English.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 49. The Lord shall bring a nation against thee from far, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle flieth. A nation whose tongue thou shalt not understand.
Why would we not understand? Because they don't speak the same language we speak. Go ahead.
A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor show favor to the young.
Nor show favor to the young. Okay? They would force us to speak their language. When you oppress a people, you don't take on their language.
Right.
Right.
You don't take on their names.
Bring it
They
out.
take on your language and your name. Hey, go ahead, press play.
Managers and secretaries and cooks and chauffeurs and how to build water tanks and all sorts of things. We're here now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all we need. Because in this panel, the ones that sat down now, they're in agreement that slavery was evil. The first two, that's why I just wanted to go to them. They're defenders. Okay. So they're the ones that's like, yeah, it was bad, but get over it. Just like what's the guy?
Oh, the politician?
Jesse
Peterson?
Jesse Peterson.
Yeah.
Man.
I remember watching one time he compared the slave ships to
He needs some milk.
a crowded airline flight.
Oh, hell no.
Yeah. Hey, take over there. I'm gonna find it. Read that. I'm gonna find that.
Hey, before you read that though, real quick, her last statement is what struck me. She said, "All the modern marvels, basically, like I was talking about, we did, right?"
Yes.
But what credit did you get for it?
None.
So why are you bringing it up? You didn't get no credit for it. What are you talking about?
And notice she didn't say anything about positions or like jobs that were in high esteem. She mentioned people like cooks and maids, chauffeurs, so servants.
Right.
That's what she was referring to. She's happy to serve the white man, and that's what she's portraying. And even without even knowing it, that's what she's putting out there with her speech.
Right. Hey, can you grab Deuteronomy 28:46? Because we're gonna let the people know the purposes for us talking about slavery. It's recorded in the Holy Bible that a lot of y'all claim that's where y'all faith is based from, that y'all believe in God. Well, guess what? You believe in God, you got to believe in God's words, right? So what is the purpose for us talking about these things, right? Deuteronomy 28, read 45 and 46 real quick.
Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 45. Moreover, all these curses shall come upon thee, and shall pursue thee, and overtake thee, till thou be destroyed, because thou hearkenest not unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to keep his commandments and his statutes, which he commanded thee.
So the Bible answers the $1 million question, why? You didn't keep God's laws. This is why a certain group of people, so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, right? You're on the bottom of society. Even if you live in your own country or wherever you're from, you're still on the bottom, and you serve the same oppressor that conquered you. Change your language and everything, right? Give no account of your labors, right? So what is the purpose for us talking about the slavery? Verse 46.
And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
Forever. From generation to generation. Why? God left you a constant reminder so you could bethink yourself and remember who you are and what you've been cut off from, and repent and come back home. So all praise to the Most High. This is why 12 Years a Slave, movies like that, it's going to always keep coming out. It ain't never going to stop, because the Lord is like, hello, I'm knocking. I'm trying to wake you up here, right? So that's the purpose of it. That's why we talk about it. Go ahead, officer.
All right, go ahead and play that video right quick. I don't know if this is the exact video, but you'll get his mind state from it.
No, I've often said that thank God for slavery, because had not, then the blacks who are here would have been stuck in Africa. And you see how bad Africa, everybody and mama trying to get out of Africa and come to America. And so God has a way of looking out for folks, and he made it possible by way of slavery to get black folks into this country.
Wow.
But 100% American. Proud of it. I thank God that he saw fit for me to get here. Never mind that we were sold. I mean, I guess my ancestors way back, way young to when, were sold by Arabs and blacks to white folks and got us here. The white man came and brought us to the greatest country in the world. The ride over was pretty tough, but it's like riding on a crowded airplane.
Stop.
And when you're not
Stop. I told y'all. He said the ride over was pretty tough.
You know who he is, right? Like if we was in chattel slavery, he was the dude we'd have to get rid of first.
Right. Especially if you're trying to talk about escaping.
That's right.
You say escaping, you just see Jesse like, shh, he coming.
Yeah. So, hey, but he did quote some history.
Yep.
And history that amazingly, a lot of Christians don't seem to know. Let's get that in Joel.
Joel chapter 3, verse 3. And they have cast lots for my people, and have given a boy for an harlot, and sold a girl for wine, that they might drink.
Go ahead.
Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon, and all the coast of Palestine? Will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
That's what we just read. Officer Jabez brought out in Romans, and we brought out in Nahum. See how the Bible just
old and new,
from the prophets to the apostles, they all agree.
Absolutely,
they all agree.
Bring it out.
How can you believe that when you pull John 3:16? Somehow the Bible is now contradicting what it said in the Old Testament. That's the Old Testament.
Come on now, dog.
We read in scriptures and they all agree. All the prophets agree with each other. Go ahead.
It says, verse 5, because ye have taken my silver and my gold, and have carried into your temples my goodly pleasant things. The children also of Judah and the children of Jerusalem have ye sold unto the Grecians, that ye might remove them far from their border.
See, he just said that. He literally quoted that. Go back on there. I want you to go back. Y'all already took it down. All right, go back a few seconds. I want you to go back to where he quoted that. Go back about. Okay, let's see if that's it.
Brought us to the greatest country in the world. The ride over was pretty tough.
Go back about 20 seconds. Let's see if we got it there.
Way young to when, were sold by Arabs and blacks to white folks.
We were sold. Stop. He said by Arabs and blacks. But when you go back and read that again, read verse 4.
Verse 4. Yea, and what have ye to do with me, O Tyre and Zidon?
Those are the blacks.
Yep.
Right.
Africans. Those are the blacks. Matter of fact, anybody got their Zondervans? You grab that right quick. Grab that. I got mine if you don't have yours. All right, read on though.
And all the coast of Palestine, will ye render me a recompense? And if you recompense me, swiftly and speedily will I return your recompense upon your own head.
Okay, so now read that about the blacks. Read that about Ham, about the blacks.
The blacks.
So we read about the blacks, O Tyre and Zidon, and the Arabs, Palestine. He quoted that.
Yeah, he did.
He quoted that and said the Lord brought him over to the greatest nation on earth. But what he's not saying is this greatest nation on earth is going to be destroyed.
Right.
Let's read that.
This is the Zondervan's Compact Bible Dictionary definition of Ham. The youngest son of Noah, born probably about 96 years before the flood, and one of 8 persons to live through the flood. He became the progenitor of the dark races.
The dark races, the blacks. Go ahead.
Not the Negroes.
Not the Negro. Who was considered the Negroes? The Israelites.
That's right.
The Israelites. Okay.
We used to scream black power while heroin was pushed. But at the end of the day, nothing's in vain. IUIC has been given a vision. The tents of Judah has risen. Many has attempted the mission. Minor murmuring, omitting, and missing the mark. Just reading that he had the flame of fire in his eyes gave us the spark. We on Paul's mission. We out on the road, purple and gold. From Mexico, Cuba, Haiti, Ghana, Sierra Leone. 144,000 boots banging, concrete crackling. These are how men repented at heart. The scriptures is proof. IUIC, we deliver the truth.